Hello and welcome back to the lab. Today on the bench we have something that I've been teasing for quite some time, a Tektronix 2000 series scope. I've had a lot of people ask me if I could do some 2000 series content and 2000 series videos. And yes, I do have some 2K stuff that needs to hit the bench and get repaired, this being one of them. But I have not had the opportunity to get one up here yet. This was just pulled out of the stock, and we definitely have some issues here. Somebody's highlighted the fact that this has a busted power button. Unfortunately, this was permanent marker, so that's going to be fun to clean off. I hope not. But here we are. You cannot bring these up lightly on a dim bulb tester or Variac supply. We do need to rely on the fuse for these due to the fact that these have a switching power supply in them. So dim bulb testing them is not the best idea. Ooh, it's starting. Hey, okay, well, the switch was in the on position, I guess. We have some display issues for sure, but we also don't have, the scope's not booting fully. So I should have lights here. It should have gone through some power tests, things like that. So first things first, as always, check the power supplies. These scopes are known for having bad capacitors and not working well, or mid to late 2000s capacitors. So they are very, very leaky and definitely do need to be replaced. Physically leaky, not electrically leaky in this case. They spew their guts everywhere. So let's get in here, get this thing apart, and take a look at the power supplies. There's a, I think it's the A5 board in here. It has a bunch of surface mount capacitors that absolutely need to be changed. Power supply caps will get refreshed as part of normal servicing, but let me get the covers off and I'll bring you guys back. We'll take a look. Only 2 screws held the back cover in, so now the real question is, do we have someone's parts project, especially with all the missing knobs on the front, or do we have a chance of getting this thing up and running again? This should just punch forward, I think, unless I have to take this bezel off. I might have to take this front bezel off. Let's see. Interesting choice. We have Torx bits. And as soon as I find the screwdriver, we'll see what we can do. Smaller. That's going to be, what, a T9, maybe? Yep, those do go into the chassis, so we do need to remove the perimeter Torx. Not a problem. Given the display, the way all the knobs were, and the fact that the microprocessor wasn't starting up completely, I don't know if we have someone's project. Oh, missing more screws, so we got 2 gone here, so we got 2 here, so we may end up having a project on our hands. But we'll see. If we do, we do, and we'll give it the best shot to bring this thing back, because getting a good 2465, these are 300 megahertz scopes, and actually are much better at doing some cursor measurement than my analog stuff is, given that my analog stuff doesn't do cursor measurement at all. The technology that came into this scope is actually from the 7854. That's kind of how it started. This should just... there it goes. I was going to say, this should just punch out. Oh, boy. Not terrible in there. Doesn't look too dirty. The 2465 does not have a microchannel plate CRT. However, the 2467 does have a microchannel plate CRT. So if I can get this up and running, this would be sort of preferable to have in the lab for everyday use. Save the microchannel plate for when I really need the fast glitch capture, things like that. As those are a finite lifespan item. And there's all the ASICs and all the high speed stuff. Switch feels all right, I guess. Nothing major. Interesting push rod. This is a interesting part. That is a sore spot in some of the 2500s. That is a very custom chip that I want to be careful with. But let's dig this power supply out first and start with a bit of a cap refresh. Let's see, I think this is going to be our power board right here. This is going to be the supply that needs to come out. Refuzz. Replace if found always. Definitely going to need to get some stuff serviced in here so we don't turn into a smoke machine. Okay, I got these boards separated. These clips, which kind of clip the two boards together, a plier goes in and you squeeze these two tabs together and they separate, and you have a couple of the interconnecting combs that need to be removed. Those are also latched in and need to come out. First things first, I got to work on the sticky switch. But the sticky switch is actually, there's a little bit of corrosion on the spring, and it's interfering with the latch. And that's why the switch is sticky, because with the latch out, it's fine. So we're going to shoot some contact cleaner in there. That's good for 110, because this is switching 110. And then put some lubrication on the latch to get that to go. And it should stop arguing with our power button and at least latch it in and closed. We're going to start working on the power supply. Nice thing is the regulators come off as one piece. That unbolts. And then two of the capacitors on here are 1 microfarad bipolars. So I think I have some 1 mic bipolar. But the lab on the shelf should have everything else we need to do the rest of this board. So I'm going to fire up the soldering irons. We are going to do this under N2 just because we can. Absolutely not a requirement. However, does make for nice solder joints. So we'll fire up the desolder tool and the soldering tool, and I will work on getting some capacitors replaced. All right, well, that's the soldering side of the equation done. We have some high voltage covers over some of the switching transistors. This is being the high voltage section, so this is what the power supply looks like off when the high voltage cover is removed. And were we going to get away with not doing this job? Absolutely not. Ran into the entire gambit of problems that you could run into with board repair. I had bad solder joints up here on a couple of these capacitors. We have some that are incredibly bad, which I'll show you guys here in a minute. A lot that tested good, but starting to creep up there and things like that. But some of the one of the worst ones was actually in the high voltage section right here. This is a 353.3 microfarad, 350 volt capacitor. If we do this, 4.07 with a 4.8 ohm ESR. That's terrible. This is a, what was this? This was a 4.7 by 35. This one was also quasi bad. Not as bad as that one. .2. So that cap also is toast. These are a couple of the low voltage supplies, and actually I think these might be the 15 volt rails for some of the logic, or the 5 volt rails for some of the logic, and they are way up there in capacitance. These are 250 microfarads, so this is reading about 100 mics over, which is quite a bit. They're also expanding on the bottom, so I don't think they're long for this world and absolutely need to be replaced. Same one here. This is a 250 by 20 volt. So ESR is still good. Capacitance is in orbit, which is not a great answer, especially with the bottoms of these bulging out. How about this one? What do we got? 330 on a 250. So, yeah, absolutely needed to do the cap refresh, which we've gotten done. So it's actually ready for me to put the supplies back together, and then we'll put it in the scope, see if we improved things or if we really broke something. All right, and after some careful assembly, the power supply is back together. All our fingers are reinstalled, pass-throughs, and everything looks good to go. The switch is operating much better now. Definitely needed a clean and a little bit of lubrication, and that's happy again. Time to put it in the scope and see what happens. So at this point, as with all repairs, it's either going to blow up or stay the same or improve. And no way to know until we plug it in and turn it on. Okay, so the more and more I look at this thing, the more and more I think this is someone's parts unit. The impeller's missing on the fan, the knobs are missing on the front. It's got some real bad problems. So this may be a parts scope. However, I got the power supply in. Haven't turned it on yet. We're about to do that together. I did pull the power button out. That actually comes out pretty easy, so I may be able to fix that button. But for right now, let's see if it turns on. That's better. The microprocessor started. Hey, look, we're back. Excellent. I got focus problems. There we go. Focus. Well, that's better. Oh, here. Position halfway, halfway. And I have a trace. So we had a power supply problem with this scope. I got to find knobs, an impeller, all kinds of stuff to put in this thing. But we are making great progress. All right, I've got some feelers out for spare parts, but that fan impeller seems to be unobtainium at the moment, which is totally fine. We'll figure that out. However, I want to see how close we are on calibration. 5 volts per division. Give me a trace. Well, we're not doing too terrible. Speed up the plug-in a little bit. That's probably... No, that's about all we get. Okay. That's not bad. 1 volt. Or no, that's 2. 1 volt. Position. Bring this down. Not bad. Not bad at all. Let's see here. I wrote that pretty good. 1.9% high on, and we are DC coupled. So that actually looks pretty good. So, not going to complain about that at all. There's my position. Okay, yeah, I got lots of position. That's good. So, how are we doing on timing? So, stated accuracy on these is 2%. So, we are actually right at the limits of accuracy, but not terrible. And actually, as it's warming up, it is coming down a little bit because now it's 1.6. So that's not awful. I don't want to leave this on too long because I don't want the ASICs to overheat. The amplifiers on this are sensitive, and without the fan running, we do have it out of the case, but there's a slight chance it could overheat. Let's pop this into the rubidium. And just because we have it available, we'll just DC couple the... we'll just 50 ohm the input, and it won't be a problem. Well, it helps when I turn the variable off. So, checking some timing, doing a quick rudimentary check of the system. We're at 0.2 milliseconds per division. We're at 0.2 milliseconds per division. Variable is off. It wasn't before. And it looked to be a tad slow. And that actually looks really good in the camera. That would be, it's running about 0.2% slow. So not terrible at all. And that's based on the rubidium here in the lab. So at least from a calibration and alignment standpoint, this one is pretty close. Surprised all it needed was a power supply rebuild. But I do need some knobs. And I do need some... I do need a fan. I can't let this run too long without a fan. So This is going to have to go on the shelf. There'll be a part 2 on this when I find the parts I need, and we'll get this going. But if anybody knows where to get the parts, definitely let me know. This would be a great scope to get up and running, and we will go from there. Thanks for stopping by the lab and taking a look at the 2645 partial repair and replacement. This did have a power supply that needed to be rebuilt. The dish of shame with all the components that were replaced. Reefa caps, replace if found always. And these are actually very cracked. I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but you guys can actually see the cracks in the capacitor. That's what really does these in, is they go bad, or those cracks form, water gets in, hits the paper, and then they become smoke generators. So I need a bit of parts on this that are proving to be unobtainium. When we get those parts, we'll revisit this scope, and then we'll run it through an alignment process. Right now, I can't leave it on long enough to do an alignment process without the ASICs overheating. So I have to take that as parts become available. With that, as always, hit me up in the comments below between videos. Do all the YouTube things. Like, share, and subscribe. If you like what you're seeing and want to support the channel, take a look at the Patreon page. They're running ahead on videos, and their support helps keep the lights on here in the lab and videos coming up to YouTube. As always, thanks a lot for stopping by, and I will see everybody in the next video. Bye for now.